Hey guys, so to start this video, I'd like to say two major things. One, that this will not be a normal shifter or soldier video, and two, that I want you guys to tell me down in the comments what kind of other games that you guys may want to see from me. I've been dilly-dallying in other games recently and stuff like that, basically on and off Roblox, and I want to know other kind of games other than Freedom War that you guys might want to, see on my channel or, other kind of games basically. But with that being said, let the slander begin. So actually, before I get into all of the topics I'll be talking about in this video, I'll actually go down in the description and timestamp each and every one so that it'll make it easier for you guys to follow along or maybe skip to a specific topic that you guys may be interested in. And throughout these different topics, I would like to make a disclaimer that this is my personal opinion, and honestly, there may be some of you who think differently and disagree that some of these problems that I feel are issues aren't as detrimental to the game as I feel they are. But anyway, be that as they may, let's get into it, right? So yeah, you guys guessed it. The first topic I'll be talking about today will be hitboxes. Woo! We all love hitboxes, and the hitboxes in Freedom War are absolutely genuinely horrible. Today I have two clips for you guys of absolutely horrid hitboxes that somehow managed to hit me and why it's actually just a bad thing for Freedom War. Now, don't worry, I'll slow the clip down so you guys can all see exactly what happened right there in the HVH versus Banana Man. For some apparent reason, he decided he wanted to impulse counter me, and I in turn either impulse slashed or just regular slashed at him to counter that, and neither of us hit each other, even though our hitboxes merged almost perfectly, like horizontally wise. Like, there should be no reason that either of us missed each other here, but for some apparent reason, that's the hitboxes in Freedom War. And you may be thinking, hey Justin, in that first clip, it just looks like a little bit of maybe desync or lag, and you, random viewer, would be right. However, that brings us to our next topic, latency and fake US servers. Now, as a guy who's been playing the game for around 2 or 3 years, give or take, I can say with an abundance of confidence that in the past, you used to be able to log on to the game at around 9 o'clock. Me and my friends would log on, and we used to be able to find an abundance of US servers. Now it's kind of changed where you can't find one at that same time, and the only time whenever you will be able to find one is probably like later in the afternoon, maybe 2, 3-ish o'clock, maybe even 4. And that's become a problem because like a lot of my friends don't even play the game anymore because of latency or other reasons that I'll talk about later in the video. So as things stand now, as Freedom War stands now, it's really almost impossible to find a true US server that actually exists in the US. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to find that the server actually exists on a different continent or in a different country than the actual US, state that it displays on Freedom War. It's just impossible to find a true US almost. So next up, I want to actually talk about or discuss the combat system in Freedom War and how jank it is. So actually, as you can see here, I have a depiction of the entire combat system in Freedom War, the kick, and the kick obviously counters the counter, right? And then counter will thus in turn counter the slash. And the slash counters the kick. And that is basically the entire combat system in Freedom War. Actually, word for word, bar for bar, it actually works around a kind of rock, paper, scissors-esque kind of combat system, in which each one counters the other, vice versa, and you will take damage for trying to counter one that it doesn't actually work against. And honestly, the entire other part of the game, which actually doesn't take too much skill, but it's a part that most of the newcomers actually have the hardest time learning, is that anchor spam is literally the entire other part of the combat system. As long as you know anchor spam, you don't even need to really know the other part of the combat system, considering it's literally just rock, paper, scissors. Guessing simulator is the name of the game. That's literally it. As long as you can hook spam Q and E at light speed, and basically play rock, paper, scissors with your enemy, you literally just win. This entire combat system, I do think, takes no skill whatsoever. It is literally just guessing simulator. If you can outguess the other guy, you literally just win. Now, I also want to take a moment to note that it does take a little bit more skill than maybe I let on in that part right there. I mean, obviously there's certain moves like impulse counters, impulse kicks, certain things that you can do to maybe bait out attacks by other players to maybe counter them easier, or do the attack that counters the one that they chose to do. And obviously you can bait out those kind of attacks, and there is a little bit more skill than maybe I let on there. But truth be told, at the end of the day, it is a rock paper scissors kind of combat system. The next topic that I want to bring up or talk about is going to be alting. Now, alting is going to become a progressive, bigger issue as Freedom War continues on in its development. And honestly, I find it to be a big problem because even low level players are actually alting now, and it used to be something that only high levels would do whenever they got hit listed. But I did mention earlier about how hard the game for newcomers is going to be. Now, not because of its combat system, which is pretty basic, while also being a little bit more than necessary. Alting is going to become a bigger problem for those players, considering the fact that they are now filled with a false level of skill. Now, a level 10 may join the game, start playing, and then he'll find another level 10 and be like, oh, okay, we may be at the same level of skill, let's fight each other. Next thing you know, it's actually a level 100 playing on an alt, and that newcomer actually just gets genuinely fried, whether it be an SVS or HVH. So for the last topic I would like to talk about or discuss in this video, it's going to be both cheaters and terrible/bad game mechanics, right? So in this clip I have for you guys, it's very obviously a speed cheater, right? And he's utilizing his cheats to make it easier, obviously, to follow Fem while she is utilizing her high speed. And actually, you see these multiple carts out here? He was actually utilizing his cheats to spawn gas carts and blade carts in the middle of nowhere to make it easier for the scouts to kill Fem. And while this cheat hasn't been out for a while, it's still a bad thing, right? This is him actually just genuinely spawning two carts in the middle of nowhere, right? But me and my brother have gotten a multitude of cheaters, probably 10 cheaters banned, and that's just been within like the past 2 months, right? And it's just getting worse progressively. Now, the next I'm going to move on to is the bad game mechanics, right? So, someone please tell me why Colossal Steam extends all the way down to his legs. It genuinely doesn't need to, considering there's no, I think a collision hitbox would be better than his steaming you into the ground just for trying to attack his teammates down there, right? And then we're going to talk about sabotaging the gas, right? I have a clip of right here, the gas being sabotaged in HQ, and it's bugged because whenever two canisters are back to back, when you go to fix one, the other side will just randomly start leaking, right? And it, more gas will leak out of the canisters progressively, so it doesn't help that this bug actually exists, right? And then next thing I'm going to talk about right here is, I don't have a clip of it, but stage 7, right? On stage 7, you will spawn at an HQ, right? And you will be able to get horses, no carts really, but you'll be able to get horses, right? And here, the warriors will be able to sabotage the gas and sabotage all of the blades before shifting even enables to attack them or insub them. So they can literally sabotage and get rid of all of your resources before you even have the opportunity to attack back. Right? And if it's Colossal, he'll just, sit there, sabotage all the blades, all the gas, and then proceed to go invisible instantly, no matter if you have a hook on him, no matter if you have a musket aimed at him. Nothing will be able to stop this Colossal from being able to do all of this, and then just poof, he's gone, right? And one last final thing based upon how the soldier versus warrior combat system works. As a soldier, you have one opportunity at least to fight a warrior. Depending on how many rages you have, it may differ and you have multiple chances. But basically, as a warrior, they can fight you in HVH before they ever shift, right? Then they can shift, fight you while shifted, then de-shift to fight you in HVH again, reshift, right? To fight you while shifted, de-shift one last time, then reshift, and then they'll be forcibly shifted, and if you don't manage to kill them there, then they may have another opportunity to HVH you. So that's 7 total combat chances that a warrior gets to fight you whenever you have one or maybe a few more depending on how many rages you have as a soldier, right? 7 total chances that a warrior will get to fight you. And they can choose to use them all on you, right? Your prayer is that you have some scouts with you to help, or an AT with you to help. But that's 7 whole total chances they get to fight you alone. And that's not even to mention the fact that there's multiple of these shifters, right? So there's Armored who can do this, and Fim that can do this, right? But it's anime accurate, it's all accurate and stuff like that, so it's not like too deep. But that's also, you know, not even to talk about the fact that Dank's also future update may feature the fact that all 15 meters Titans and, or well, maybe including Armored, will get double tendons automatically. Like I said, I don't know what that means for Armored, but that's a crazy update, right? So I don't know. Stay tuned in the future of this game, because honestly, it's gonna get crazy.